Here in Charles City, the damages speak for themselves. Glass broken on the ground from this tornado and trees toppled. It's officially been 1 year since Tommy the dog died. After being tied to a fence, doused in gasoline, and set on fire. That's right, guys, it happened right here behind me, half a block back on the corner of Windham Park Drive and Knuckles Road. Depending on the quilt, some can take up to 5 days to a week, while some as big as this one can take up to months or even a year. According to economists, Virginia's unemployment numbers continue to look good. Part of that is thanks to small businesses. The federal government said that last year, Virginia had more than 700,000 small businesses. With Valentine's Day coming up this Friday, experts are warning people to keep an eye out for surprises from not only that special someone, but also scammers. Many do believe that teaching religion in high schools is a great way for students to experience different values, cultures, beliefs, and faiths. Rag & Bones has a various selection of bicycle options to choose from, like this one I'm on now, which comes with a sidecar attached.
There's no better place to the community than Rags & Bones.
Located on Wickham Road in Richmond's North Side is Rags & Bones, a hands-on bicycle cooperative founded by Joe Bach in 2010.
I got a small garage in Carytown, and I just started storing bikes and rebuilding bikes and opened it up to the community to learn how to fix their own bikes.
The volunteer mechanics that work here are always lending a helping hand, whether they're fixing donated bikes to then sell or assisting customers that need help. Matilde McCann has been volunteering since last summer and says that this shop is an inclusive and safe space.
It's important to just create a space where people that identify like that can just come in without any questions asked.
Rag & Bones has a various selection of bicycle options to choose from, like this one I'm on now, which comes with a sidecar attached. Bike owners are charged a standard fee of $5 to use the workshop. Frequent customer Leroy Joseph says that bikes aren't the only thing that keeps him coming back.
This is a friendly bunch of people, man. I mean, well, I take them like family. Sometimes your pocket is just not right to go to a regular bike shop for the outrageous prices. Here, you can get a little break and get your bike repaired. This is the answer. This is a blessing right here.
This community-friendly bike shop plans on expanding their clientele and riding on with business as usual. For VCU Insight, I'm Christina Burgess. Many South Carolina churches are making changes to their services as government officials extend the state of emergency executive order to May 12 due to COVID-19. Church leaders like Ed Stewart from Shandon Baptist Church in Columbia, South Carolina, says that they've made a quick transition to online services.
Maybe it was the third week of March. We on the fly. Hey, all services streaming.
Jack Hoy, the creative director at Seacoast Church in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, says that they want this new norm to be easily accessible and comfortable for their members.
We built a set that basically looks like kind of like a living room. And what we felt like it was really important was for people to experience weekend worship in a setting that looks like what's around them. And what's around them is their house.
Despite churches in the state of South Carolina closing due to COVID-19, many have not stopped worship and ministry.
We're calling every single person on our list. So we're making 20,000 phone calls. And we're reaching out to every single person whose number we have to check in on them, to see how they're doing, and just to connect with them.
And connecting with members is important during this time.
What you try to do as a church is to try to point people out of their situation and remind them that this is not going to be this way forever.
Despite the unknown, churches have hope for the future. For VCU Insight, I'm Christina Burgess. When walking into a meeting, you would think that these women have known each other for a lifetime. From all the laughter, conversations, and smiles. Becky McGeorge has been in the group since day one.
I joined it when we first started the club, which was about 15 years ago.
And it was during that first meeting that they figured out what they wanted to call themselves.
We actually came up with a name that night, which is Crazy Quilters, not because we make crazy quilts, but because we're crazy about quilting.
Crazy, like how they recently spent an entire weekend quilting and then donated the 28 quilts they made to the Hanover Humane Society. They meet once a month at the Mechanicsville Presbyterian Church, and they're one of the 6 members of the Richmond Quilters Guild. Another original member is Ann Milliken. She says it's just not a fast hobby.
We want the challenge of learning something new, something complex, not just doing the simple quilt you can knock out in a few days.
Depending on the quilt, some can take up to 5 days to a week, while some as big as this one can take up to months or even a year. For these 30 members, the Crazy Quilters is more than just a group.
We do dinner, we go to movies, we go to plays.
It's a sisterhood.
It is a strong bond. We talk about children, we raise grandchildren.
And when together, they're always having fun.
We just have a good time. We're just crazy, crazy women.
Who are crazy about quilting. For VCU Insight, I'm Christina Burgess. Before we came out for your interview, we had briefly mentioned and spoke about kind of why you started Boots to Suits and the legacy of your husband. Would you care to speak on some of that, please? It's time to mark your calendars. The 2019 Virginia general elections are just around the corner. Tuesday, November 5th is the National Election Day, and voters are going to choose who they want to see in the Virginia General Assembly. Cancer and cancer treatments are a difficult ordeal, but it turns out something simple and relatively cheap helps patients through this ordeal. Insight's Laura Bowen has more on how one local cancer diagnosis led to a legacy of giving.